you doing? Good to see you.
Hey. Well, this is Tony Brian with Konnected Magazine, and I am sitting here with Mayor of Charlotte, Mayor Jennifer Roberts. Thank you for having us today. How are you?
I'm doing great and welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you. So first, I would just like to say thank you for your service and who you've been for the city of Charlotte for the 2 years that you've been in office. That we appreciate everything that you do for us. So since you, we just talked about this a little bit, that you were raised in Charlotte. You are a native of North Carolina, born in Raleigh, which is awesome. So what has been your experience being the mayor of Charlotte for the past 2 years, and what have you seen changes? What have you seen in changes throughout the city since you've been mayor?
Well, it's been a great honor to be mayor of this great city. You know, we're the second fastest growing city in America, and you can see it. You can look out my window and see all the cranes, and you can see it when you drive down the road and see all the orange cones. But the reason we're growing so fast is people love living here. And so it is great to be able to serve a community where people love their city, where they want to make their city even better, where they want to really put down roots and raise their families here. And it has just been fabulous. I didn't anticipate how much time it would take. I mean, I'm not having, you know, mayor is supposed to be part-time.
Yeah.
I made the decision not to have it on the job because I knew the time would be really filled. But it's really, really filled.
So, I can imagine. Charlotte is like growing. It's just huge. There's a lot going on here. Yeah.
There is a lot going on. There is a lot going on, and more people coming, and more development, and congestion, and challenge for people searching for jobs, and competition, and also young people. I'm really focused on young people because I want to make sure that all the millennials and all the students in school have great opportunities readily available. And we want to make sure that when we grow like this, that growth helps everyone.
Right.
We know that we have a history of keeping some people separate and not integrating as much as we could. And so I've been very conscious to look at any barriers that still exist: racial barriers, gender barriers, age barriers, disabilities, anything that would keep people from having that access, whether it's transportation, housing, a good job. That's been the biggest challenge, is in this growth to make sure that growth helps people and doesn't leave people behind.
Right, that's awesome. You sound very all-inclusive, which is what really this world needs, is someone who really thinks about everyone. So even though you did speak on some of the challenges that you have faced, like what has been maybe the most rewarding thing that you've seen in being that all-inclusive person that you are while you've been in office?
Well, rewarding, I love it when I speak to a big group of people or a school group, whatever, and the young women will come up afterwards and want to hear from me directly and say, you've been so inspiring. And I talk a lot about needing more women's voices at the table, and also more people of color. Their voices need to be included. We want to make sure that we are consciously pursuing diversity and including that diversity. And so when I have people come to me at the end of something and say, I'm really inspired by what you said and I want to get involved, that's the biggest reward.
Yeah, well, you're inspiring me.
Good.
That's what this world needs, is more inspiration. That's awesome.
Good.
So you had a competition called the Sounds of the QC competition recently, which is, I was there, it was awesome, it was a very wonderful thing, and that it was really focused on the arts, which is great. I'm a theater, I graduated with a degree in theater recently actually, so the arts are very, thank you, North Carolina Central, the arts are very, very important to me. So with your influence and you being who you are as a politician, how do you use that to ensure that arts are stay the main focus, not even the main focus, but they stay relevant really, because as we all know, arts are a lot of the times the first things to get cut when it comes to budgets and things of that nature.
Yes, and I absolutely have seen that happen in our schools, and we've had the art teachers with their, you know, cart they take around from classroom to classroom. They don't have a permanent classroom.
Yeah.
That's not the best way to support the arts. Well, I come at the arts in many different ways. First of all, it's had a big impact on my family. My children both sing in a choir. My husband sings with a symphony. He's a musician. He's a lawyer by day. Musician at night on the weekends.
Aren't all artists lawyers in some sense?
Something else on the tip during the day. So it's been a big part of my family, and I've seen with my children's development. And actually, my kids both took ballet. Boy and girl both took ballet and loved it. I know, they loved it. And they also both took an instrument, and then they've kept up with the singing. And what I see is the ability of the arts to teach so much else. It teaches teamwork, it teaches structure, it teaches discipline, it teaches working with people of different abilities. Because you don't do art by yourself, you share it.
Right.
And with dance and music, you're actually doing it, performing it together. Visual art, you're sharing in a different way, but they truly had their lives impacted in a positive way by the arts. And we have always been, my husband and I have always been people who've attended theater and drama and dance and really loved that expression. But I also see it from the mayor perspective. When I go to other cities and when I see the way they celebrate their arts community, and I also hear people coming here, and one of the first things they ask is, do you have a good symphony? Do you have an arts and music scene? What are your museums like? They want to live in a place that has support for that creative element of the human spirit. And so it's not just, it's a personal experience, it's an official experience, and I know the talent that we're bringing here and growing here, all the young people, they thrive on the arts. And so, and I love participatory arts. I want more, involvement and engagement from folks. Festivals where people can go and experience things, and we've seen a lot of that recently, where you have interactive things going on. Street plays and street songs and flash mobs. Yeah, and that brings the city to life. It gives it its soul.
Yeah.
And I really want to develop that soul for Charlotte. And we've had the Arts and Science Council for a number of years here, and they've done a great job at supporting basic operating needs of some of our bigger arts groups. But what I like to see are the small groups that are bubbling up all over. And the diversity in those groups, some of the spoken word performances and hip hop, like we did with Sounds of the QC, and even small plays that are staged in people's homes, or Paper House Theater, which is in that old building, and just a bunch of different groups of people being creative. And you add video and computer generation, and all the online stuff that you can do too. We have talented people here, and they are contributing to the economy. They're contributing to the entertainment, to the nightlife, and I want to be a mayor that supports that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Well, like you said, you spoke a little bit on the genre of music that was at the Sounds of the QC, the very first one. And that was the first annual one, right?
That's right.
Right. So is that something that you're going to continue to try to do and have kind of foster the talent of the community? One, this is a two-part question. And two, are you going to open that up to different genres of music and not just hip-hop, or is hip-hop something that you're kind of interested in right now and kind of fostering the growth of the hip-hop community in Charlotte?
Well, I definitely want to continue to have these kinds of community competitions, because I think that it helps support those developing artists. It shows them, first of all, their work is important. Second of all, it gives them a stage for people to be involved with their music or their dance or whatever aspect that is. And it helps celebrate what we know is going on. And I've learned a lot about hip-hop in the last 6 months.
There's a lot to know, yeah, there's a lot to know.
I discovered parts of the community that were working in this area for years that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Really creative people, and just wonderful, wonderful recording artists who are right here, who have, several songs that have really gained notice and are quite talented. So I learned a lot about hip hop. There's a great history to it. There's a great culture to it. And I am really excited that we're going to have the youth competition in October that is going to be the same sort of parameter for celebrating Charlotte, but open it up to high school students.
Which is awesome.
Because they're developing their creativity, their feeling toward their city, and it's going to be a lot of fun. What also is fun about that is a lot of the people who are professionals already in the industry are willing to serve as mentors and to really coach the young people. And young people need mentors, they need role models, they need positive influences more than just their parents, because parents can't do it all alone. Yeah, I know that as a parent. I definitely need the other mentors out there.
Yeah.
And so that's the element that really makes it exciting. Now, will there be another genre next year? I've heard a lot of people wanting to do that. Part of that's going to depend on our ability to raise some funds, because we did the first one totally through volunteers and donations.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome.
Isn't that
But that
amazing?
shows you what kind of community Charlotte is, and everything that everyone's willing to contribute to their city. That's awesome. Yeah. So thank you for things like that, yes.
So that was just amazing, and thank you so much to all the committee members and the volunteers, all the people who helped make that happen, because there was a lot of work that went into that. But we're hoping to, if we do establish this as an annual event that maybe celebrates some other genres of music, that we can have a permanent website. We were, hosting on a free site. We'd like to really have it be more interactive, and that's going to require some money and some personnel. So if I'm successful at raising some money, that we can keep this sustainable, absolutely. I think it will be a great opportunity to showcase some music talent. And maybe it develops into music and video, so you can celebrate not just the singing and creative talent, but also maybe video talent. Maybe you can have two of those paired together. There are all kinds of possibilities, and it really depends on how much I'm able to do with the volunteer network, and then maybe some money, and with the music scene here, and with all the folks who are supporting great music. And I think that again, there's a lot of energy and excitement. And when you think about cities like Austin and the places we compete with, Atlanta, they have music scenes, and we want to be consciously supporting that growth here in Charlotte as well.
Right. So is there something that you can tell the people out there, or a way that they can get you the funding that you need for these competitions? Because I mean, like you said, just like parents, you can't do it alone. So we need the city out there to help us. So is there anything that you want to tell them, or a way that they can get the funding to you for these events?
Well, right now everything is centered on the website. So it's soundsoftheqc.com. And that stands for Sounds of the Queen City, because we're the Queen City. So soundsoftheqc.com. There's a way to contact the committee there, and information on the past winners from the April event. And that's the best way to really get in touch with, when's the next competition, who to be in touch with around funding, and how to get involved. We encourage people who care about music to get involved, and care about young people and care about really spreading this. And we're trying to coordinate, there are lots of other initiatives that are ongoing as well, because Charlotte's the kind of place where things just bubble up. The community is just full of stuff, and so it bubbles up. So the Center City Partners has this initiative called Music Everywhere, and we want to help integrate with them and connect with them, because they're also supporting artists in the community creating music. And they're doing small stage performances, and they're doing it in different places and highlighting it on a central kind of event calendar. So we're going to make sure we connect with them. And if anybody else has an event calendar around music or musicians, please connect with soundsoftheqc.com. And that way we can cross-market and continue to build, that part of our city that makes us really have a soul and an identity and a spirit. And we're not just a banking town anymore. We are so much more. We are, and as you listen to some of those songs, you can hear all the things that people celebrate. The sports, the nightlife, the community, the great neighborhoods, the places that people just really put their heart and soul into. The neighborhood art, the murals. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you drive around the city of Charlotte, there are a lot more wall murals.
And it's awesome.
It's great. And it gives our city that sense of place and soul and identity.
And uniqueness in a way.
Right. And it really celebrates the talent that we have.
And there's a lot of talent here, like we said. So thank you so much for sitting with me today, Mayor Roberts. I appreciate you taking your time out and having a conversation with me today. Again, I'm Tony Brion with Konnected Magazine. So make sure to check out the Sounds of the QC website, like she told us about, and just stay connected to the city and things that you can do to help us. Thank you again, Mayor Roberts, for sitting with me. Have a great day.
Thank you. And I'd like to just encourage all the young artists out there, or old artists, you know, you can be any age when you discover your talent, right? Please get involved. You know, whether it's helping with an event, whether it's helping, you know, drive some students to a rehearsal.
Yeah, because we need that, yeah, for
we
sure.
need, they don't have their driver, you know, if they're high school students and they're ninth graders, they don't have a driver's license and they may not have a car. But we want to make sure that people are getting together and creating great art together.
Right.
Music, drama, videos, all that, and really supporting each other. So there are lots of ways you can get involved, and we want to continue to have creativity and the arts thrive in Charlotte.